Are you ready to turn your speaking into a more profitable marketing strategy? Then you're going to love my limited series podcast, Public Speaking Monetization Tips. In each short, actionable episode, I share insider strategies to help you land more speaking opportunities, attract your ideal clients, and confidently sell from the stage without ever feeling salesy. So if you're ready to get booked, seen, and paid, search for public speaking monetization tips on your favorite podcast app and start listening today. Welcome back to another episode of Be in Demand. I am your host, Laurie-Ann. I'm glad that you're here, and this podcast is all about how to leverage speaking as your best form of marketing and also to build your own personal brand, whether you own your own company or you are working within a corporation. Building your own personal brand in this AI-driven world has never been more important. So today I have a question from a friend of mine. I've been on her podcast a few times. Her name is Brenda Meller, Meller. She's a LinkedIn expert, and I would highly recommend that you go follow her and listen to her podcast as well. So she has a question for me, and I'm just going to read what she wrote here. She says, "Hi, Laurie-Ann, question for you, and feel free to use this for your newsletter or any other content. I was approached on LinkedIn in a direct message from a connection inviting me to speak at a conference that's in my local area. It is an industry conference. I was sought after due to my expertise. I asked if they had a speaker budget, and she said no, they do not. She mentioned that they give speakers free tickets to their events. I looked up the speaker lineup, which is mainly executive from within the industry. They are also charging attendees thousands of dollars for the conference. I don't have the name of the conference, so I personally can't look this up. I'm just telling you that. And I would like to participate as a paid speaker. How would you recommend proceeding?" And here's the advice that I did give her. I did share with her that she needs to get people on the phone. When you get people on the phone, you are more likely to hear a yes to booking you as a speaker, a yes to your fee, so that you can be asking other questions because there may be some information that hasn't been shared, like who's in the audience. There might be somebody, or it could be the ideal type of people that are in the audience that Brenda might actually say yes to. And I think that's really important. I want to encourage you to go and listen to episode 376, which is titled Stop Speaking for Free, because there should always be this exchange of value if you're not getting paid to speak. But there are so many different ways that a meeting could have an exchange of value for their speakers that they're not necessarily paying. And so I encouraged her to go listen to that episode, and I encourage you to also listen to that episode. But one of the things about speaking and getting paid to speak is that if you are a sought out speaker, like this woman is that she may get another offer for the exact same day. And she's going to be put in a very particular predicament if she says yes to this no fee, but then she gets offered a fee. So there are certain types of speakers that events should be paying to speak because you want to guarantee that they are actually going to show up. Now, I used to be one of the executive coaches for an immersive leadership development program. It was a week long, and most people actually traveled from around the world to attend. Now, I was one of their executive coaches for their co-ed event. They actually also had a women's leadership development, which was held 3 months later. It was much smaller, and not just because it was women only. I I learned about this event when people started understanding that I had a couple of books that I'd written, and I also was a speaker. You should speak at the women's leadership event, is what I kept hearing. And when I started to dig a little bit deeper, I found out that the co-ed version, which had a lot of male speakers along with female speakers, all of those speakers were paid. And they had brought in some big names to speak on the stage. The women's conference, none of those speakers were paid. So you can imagine what I thought. I was not going to participate in a women's only event that wasn't paying their speakers. I stayed over at being the executive coach for the co-ed event, but that puts you in a very interesting predicament, especially as the speaker, that it's just bad business for you to turn down money when you said yes to a free event, unless that free event puts you in front of people who you want to get in front of, that you are willing to, hey, I'll forego that paycheck in order to be able to speak in front of these people. These are my key ideal clients, or these are people who can put me in front of my ideal clients, or these are people who can book me to speak at their event. Another way to use not getting paid for a local event is, can you get a couple of tickets for maybe some meeting planners? One of my clients is actually going to be coming out with her new book this year, and she is already thinking about her book launch and giving out tickets, free tickets, to meeting planners, people who she wants to invite to come in and witness her and experience her speaking so that they can then book her for other events. That's a wise decision. But I just wanted to share this question with you because there are so many different variables and things to consider. It's not always about the paycheck. But if you're a sought after speaker and you're an event planner and you're trying to book the speaker, you might want to pay them, especially, she did say the conference ticket price was in the thousands. And there's just there's a lot of things to consider as a meeting planner, but also as a speaker. So I want to make sure that you do what's right for you and your business success. And if you have a question that you would love answered on the show, send me a DM either on Instagram or LinkedIn, whichever one is your favorite platform that you hang out on the most. So until next week, I want you to be in demand. Hey, before you go, do you want to learn how to turn every talk into clients and cash? Well, check out my brand new limited series podcast, Public Speaking Monetization Tips. You'll learn how to find speaking opportunities, monetize every stage, and use your voice as your most powerful marketing tool. Whether you're a coach, a consultant, or an expert, this series will help you speak smarter, not harder. Search for Public Speaking Monetization Tips on your favorite podcast app and start listening today.